whole band. And so I'll just read you this poem real quick before we play our last song. It's called Just Because for Gord Downie. Because he had that great song Courage for Hugh McLennan, and he was a relative of ours, and so I always thought there was a cool connection there. So it's called Just Because for Gord Downie. He said, "It takes all kinds," said Martin Sheen, to war notes on silver screen. "I do believe that he was right. I took all kinds of things tonight. I do what I do just because, under her thumb, overpowered by love. You'd walk the earth to find a hit, and then you'd walk away from it. Because all the shadows on the stage are why the lighting techs get paid. The reasons why we love you still lie in the space you didn't fill. You do what you do just because, out of this world, overpowered by love." I read a book when I was young, then opened up another one. The second book said to the first, "I know your story, mine is worse." I skipped ahead to read the end. I never read a book again. I do what I do just because, out of the past, overpowered by love. I ran a fever for a week. She spoke to me, I couldn't speak. I dreamed the glamour and the glitz. My fervor reached a fever pitch. She disappeared. I finally spoke. Was then my fever kindly broke. Nothing appeared as it was, under her thumb, overpowered by love. I had this motor in a van. It ran and ran and ran and ran. One day in June it kicked the bucket, started up, then thought, fuck it. I had this motor in a Chevy. It got tired, things got heavy. Nothing remains as it was, spinning our wheels, overpowered by fuzz. And that's where the guitars kick in. White hearts on a silver chain, dragonflies to ease your pain. If you find it hard to choose, just take a couple Russian blues. Bad news takes all shapes and forms. Prime ministers and college dorms. The bad news is this life is fleeting. The good news is we've reached our exceeding. I heard the news that you'd be going. I read it on my mobile phone. Just because we play it slow doesn't make it sad, you know. Somewhere someone's line is ringing. Lean on in, go down swinging. So much to say, so little time. I'm working hard to clear my mind. I'll leave you with one final thought. Oh, forget it. I forgot. Wait, it's coming back to me. Gord, you rock eternally. Courage, you say. We ain't done yet. Let's see how heavy things can get. Woo! And follow that with our heaviest song right here. It's going to get really heavy. We channel this across the country for Gord Downie and the Tragically Hip, wherever they're playing tonight. They might have the night off. They were in Calgary last night. They might be on night number 2 in Calgary. Listen up, kids. It's not what you think. Stayed out too late. Had a little too much to drink. Walked home across the bridge when the marquee shut down. There's a reason that I love this town. My hometown. Nobody knows how much money you have. If you've got enough to get in a cab, there'll be drinks on the house if your house burns down. There's a reason that I love this town. I saw you, man, in the early days. Starboard side. We all understand why you moved away. We'll hold a grudge anyway. I shot the ship with miniature Tim. If he needs a hit, I could write one for him. We like the same books and we like the same sounds. There's a reason that I love this town. I played a show in Kelowna last year. They said, pick it up, Joel. We're dying in here. Picture one hand clapping, now picture half that sound. There's a reason why I hate that town. Yeah, if you saw my band, we were called Nabisco Fonzie in the early days, you will understand why we moved away. Actually, we decided we were going to stay, but you held a grudge anyway, because it's fun. That's why I hold my grudges, because they're fun. Even grudges against Kelowna can be a whole lot of fun. People say, why'd you Joel, where'd that grudge against Kelowna come from? Well, it came from the town of Kelowna. We were on tour. It was like 1996 or 98, late days of the Hermit. We were touring in our half-size school bus. We'd had several vehicles over the years. We had started with a camper van named Eddie, abandoned behind the El Strato Lounge on Godson Street after one tour because he wasn't running so well. Somebody started living in Eddie, and then we just left him there. Then we bought a half-size school bus and kitted it out with bunk beds and a gear space. Drove that for a few years. Then we bought a motorhome off our friends in the band Sloan. That was a lemon, don't buy vehicles off your friends. It's a lesson, ladies and gentlemen. And then in that last half-size school bus that we bought, we pulled it into the parking lot of a club called Flashbacks in Kelowna on a Wednesday night. How bad could Kelowna be on a Wednesday night, you ask yourselves? I asked myself that question. I was no stranger to demoralizing gigs. The Hermit had played some in their time. We played one outside of Kansas City. There was a microbrewery that was more like an East Side Mario's. That was a dark day for thrush Hermit. And then there was one in the early days of the Emergency coming back from a very respectable tour of Ontario. We played this show in Fredericton, where we now have good shows, but that wasn't the case in 2001. We played in this bar, and they played music through another set of speakers in the room while we played our show. And the only people who came to see us play was my bass player at the time, Timmy, his brother Brian came, and my mother who brought a friend. So how bad could Kelowna be, really? So, we load our gear into the club, Flashbacks. No flashing back to it right now. We played this show to like maybe 30, 40 people, all of them pinned at the back of the room, nobody paying attention. No big deal, we've been through it before. Played a slow song, promoter came up during the slow song, pick it up, we're dying in here. That made it into the song, but we tried to pick it up, they were still dying. And then we finished our set, got our 40 or 50 bucks for the motel or whatever we were getting paid. And then this big guy came up to me after the show and he said, hey man, were you in the band? And I was like, yes, I was. Finally we got through to somebody. He said, you fucking suck, man. And I thought, I'll get you and your town back for the rest of Columbia. I'll sing this Lunenburg closing song 2016. I stayed true to my word. And look, I take heat for this song. My wife was born in Kelowna. My mother-in-law's from there, But nonetheless, I wear it like a badge. All right, takes me to my last verse. We were trying to get ourselves home, all this time traveling through music. That's just pretty much what I do. And we were getting home from the last gig of a tour, Kingston, Ontario. Me and Dave, we were sick as dogs. I remember, holy smokes, and disappeared in the chicken noodle soup on that drive home. It went, Davey and me, we were face down in our soup in some French restaurant outside Rivière de Loup. The last night of the tour, we rocked that joint to the ground. And then I opened up my eyes, time traveling again, 2016. Wow, it freaks me out, but that's cool. Everyone was singing it for their hometown here in Lunenburg, wherever they came from, all around here, but in Lunenburg we sing it. Because this is where I grew up, and then it gets really loud, and on the top floor of the Academy, they're cracking beers right now, and it sounds like this. There